Are you constantly fighting life and would like to be in a little bit more flow? Well, today I'm going to talk about this. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra special point for you then as well. Now, I honestly have to remind myself of this. And this is actually a reminder to myself in the future when I catch myself out, because I'm someone who sometimes, when situations get a bit challenging, starts to push back and then starts to really try and like fight, use all that resilience. And it can be exhausting after times, right? Like in my life, I've had emotional challenges. And I'm not saying when you go through an emotional challenge, you should suddenly be like, I'm happy, happy, happy. No, I think that's really badly promoted, particularly sometimes in the personal growth space. And like, think positive, all these kind of things. No, you need to feel the things. Yet when I've looked at it, when I've realized things were happening in a certain way, I've realized it's actually had an opportunity for me to grow emotionally as well. And I've had rejections in life only to realize that those rejections led to better things in my life as well. And it's not, like I say, it's not always easy to feel it in the moment. And I'm going to go through a few points in a minute, really, that I want to share. Now, you can see there's a classic quote that says, and Tony Robbins brings it up, and it's you can either see life is happening for you or to you, right? And of course, when you're in a moment when things are going really tough, it's quite easy to feel like, oh, life's happening to me, all these bad things. And there are some people who have had some tremendously horrible, terrible things happen to them, right? And, my sympathy and empathy is with those individuals. And I've had some tough things happen to me. I've had like deaths, I've had rejections, all sorts, right? We all go through different stories. But if you're always in that state of seeing life happening against you, then it just results in fight and it just results in exhaustion. So when you see life is happening for you, even if it's tough, you got to feel through the emotions. You can get into some really beautiful places, I found, when you can start seeing things working out, or perhaps minor situations are just not blown out of proportion anymore. You actually see, oh, okay, my car's broken down today. Or maybe that's an opportunity for me to walk. Or like, oh no, like that business deal didn't go through. Instead of getting really angry, it's like, oh, well, I wanted there's another opportunity for another one to come in anyway. So when we start seeing things in different perspectives, I personally found it's made a big difference. Now, ask yourself this: are you someone who always like fight stuff and it's hard, and you battle? Or are you someone who enjoys stuff? Well, see what you feel in that instance, and be honest with yourself. Because I've been guilty of like, oh, all right, I never get a job. Oh, people hate me at this place. Oh, like all these things, or like, dating so hard. Oh, women are like, that's what I used to think. You generalize like, oh, it's difficult dating. Why are women being difficult? All these kind of things, right? And I'm sure like there are women or other genders out there who found either the same or opposite sex difficult as well, and had those kind of thoughts in their mind, right? I've certainly heard it, right? So I've been guilty of it. Now, what I want to talk about is how we can live in a bit more flow, so that yes, there's going to be challenges, and it's okay to feel those emotions, but not be in a state of constant fight and constant stress that I've definitely been guilty of. So the first point I really want to be clear, and I've said it before and I'll say it again because it's the basis for everything. Know where you're going. Know what you want. If you're fighting everything all the time and then you're just focusing on what you don't want, then how do you know where to go? How do you know what you want? If it's like, I don't want to be in this job, this relationship, this business, this condition anymore, well, what do you want? You need to know where you're going. That's the first thing in order for flow to happen. You've got to be very clear. I write down my goals twice a day, every single day. I write down a vision and I try not to think about it too much. Just write down what flows. It's like, I want to have 10 out of 10 energy. And I've not been feeling that recently. I've been a little bit ill, right? But I still know that's where I want to go. I want to feel in a through me beautiful state. I want to have the woman of my dreams who I can support and be there for. I want to be earning X amount a month. I want to be waking up as many days as I can with passion and purpose and giving, right? And that's just what I want to feel. So know where you're going. That's got to be the first point. Second one, process what you need. It comes back to the point of, don't just be like, oh, I've had this, I've lost someone, I've lost a situation, or this has happened to me. Process what you need to. Because if we like bottle our emotions down, they'll just come up and fight us. And I found a lot of self-sabotage actually comes that way, by just bottling my emotions out, because there's a need I've not met, I'm not addressing. And therefore, somehow my subconscious finds ways to self-sabotage. So process what you need to. The third one. And again, I made an episode recently about doing versus feeling, right? Know what the right balance is for you. Like if you get stuck in the feeling for like months and months and months, you don't do anything, well, you're not going to change your life because you're not taking action. But if you just take action and you don't feel what you need to feel, then there's going to be a point where you're going to burn out and you're going to potentially self-sabotage. So process what you need, find the right amount to process. The next one, get someone to support you. Have someone to support you in your corner, because I found like when I get caught in my own head, that's the worst place I can be. Just like overthinking, when I've actually talked it through with someone, and ideally hired someone like my coach, for example, where I can talk it through with him. That really helps me see a different perspective and allows ideas and actions to flow out more. Now, find someone who resonates with you. Don't just in the past, I've thought about hiring like really harsh, like sort of hustle mentality. And if you're in a place where you're feeling good and you want to work hard, they may be the right person for you, right? But hire the right person for what you feel you need in that moment, right? Maybe it is a somatic coach, maybe it's a mindset coach, maybe it's a confidence coach, maybe it's a health coach, maybe it is a business coach, right? Maybe, and you can get business and spiritual coaches. It's brilliant, right? There's so many different people out there. Get the support you need. And also, I'll add to that, don't be afraid of investing in yourself. It's costing you more time and money by overthinking stuff being caught. Trust me, right? Someone can save you decades by just talking it through with them. And then the fourth point is to start allowing flow more. You got to celebrate what you're doing, and not just celebrating results, celebrate them, but celebrate the action you're taking. When things are hard and I'm like, okay, I did my meditation this morning, I did my walk, I'm exhausted, I'm not feeling well. I'm like, yes, I did it. And that encourages me to do more of it. I've not felt the best today, and I've recorded multiple podcast episodes, and I'm celebrating it. And you can probably tell my rise in energy from just like even feeling that celebration, right? Okay. The bonus point I want to say is, if there's like areas in your life and you just feel like you're fighting life, like maybe it's like, oh, you just never seem to be making the money you want, or maybe it's just you never seem to find the right person, the love of your life. Maybe it's like you never seem to be keeping on track with like some exercise regime. Well, find an area of your life, either present or past, because there's got to be something. There is something, if you really think about it, where actually things were like easy and effortless in your life. And what was it you're doing? How are you acting? What are you believing? And just start making a note of that and see how you can bring that into an area where you're potentially struggling. I always think of my podcast when I'm perhaps stuck in an area. My podcast, since I've made it, started end of 2019, so almost coming up for 4 years now. Thank you so much for tuning in today, by the way. After a few months of doing so, it started to flow effortlessly and enjoyable, and I just make it, and people start coming. And I start looking, actually, what am I doing to therefore making an impact on the world? And then I think about an area where perhaps I am a little bit challenged. I think, right, all I'm doing is focusing on what I can do, which is make the content, and focus on helping others and having some fun with it. And then when I start applying that to other areas, I start getting results in them. So use that in your life as well. So that's what I've got for you today. I'm starting to lose my voice anyway as I start ending the episode. So I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives for being the best you. And remember, you're in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.